Did you just hit it?
No, not yet.
Oh, wait.
No, you're still not live yet. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You are
You're
just so
not
you know,
live.
you are live.
Don't worry about it. You're not live.
No. Like, I'm so serious. There's like a red. It's red.
I believe you, Gavin.
No.
Because I could see
I
Betty.
need Betty to not.
Betty wants me to say something dumb that will get me
You're
canceled
scary,
or
dude.
fired. Yeah, what is wrong
That's
with
not
you?
fair.
That is like when you don't tell someone they're on speakerphone and they're talking to you, and you're like, I'm on speakerphone. Like, dude, why would you not tell me that? I've had that happen to me before.
Just wanted a natural reaction.
I had that happen to me once in a business meeting where I said something about somebody that I was on a Zoom and I couldn't see them in the room, and they're like, so-and-so's here, and it was awkward, but I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I stand by it, but yeah, sure, you're going to make it awkward now, but yeah.
Also, too, he is hopped up on
Yeah,
caffeine.
show your thing real quick. Let me put your
over
camera up
here,
there.
sorry.
Look at that.
Yeah. And that I haven't left still. I haven't drinking the whole thing yet, so that's good. But yeah, I am on a
haven't
coffee
drinking
rush.
the whole thing yet.
No. Because I haven't drank. I haven't drank the whole thing
No, I think
yet.
they're the same.
But he is on energy level 12.
I know.
Maybe 15.
Hold on, my phone's going off.
Yeah, me.
No.
I told you to not look at it.
Wally show.
That drives Betty nuts. Now we're gonna go live and
That's a
do
great
not
text.
check your phone. It's like, okay. All right. So I had somebody ask me, they emailed me and said, hey, I noticed you're on vacation. Are we going to get a Slippidy slideshow? Betty always asks me to do that. So the answer is... Slippity slide. Yes, we are going to do a Slippidy slideshow here. I always shy away from sharing like vacation photos and stuff on socials, and not because I don't want to share my personal life. I have no problem with that, but I always tend to think, why does anyone care? Like you spend so much time looking at everybody's stuff, and I'm on vacation and you're not. And she's like, no, you should do it because people wonder about your life and things like that. And
People do. Betty does not, but people do.
What?
So I posted a bunch. Like, you were on vacation too, and I don't think you checked much of our socials.
I didn't.
Because I'd ask you, hey,
Off
do you
the
see
grid.
this? Do you see this?
Good job.
Like, I posted a grip of stuff. And so some of these stories would be old hat for Betty had she looked at our socials at any point in time, which she's in charge of. But she needed her break from that as well.
I need my break from you.
Exactly. And I spent more time on me. And so... we'll start this right now. So we got the first slide here, Slippidy slideshow. We went to Alani, the Disney vacation destination on Oahu, because we're like vacation club members. So I'm using my points, man. I paid for them. I'm using my points. And so we go there, and of course they've got Maui's hook there. My wife and I take a cutesy photo with it. But if you notice my pants, look at my pants. I got my joggers on.
What are you doing?
My joggers.
It hot? Was it too hot?
It was so hot. My joggers are pulled up to my calves, which I don't think is a horrible look, but
No, it looks good.
I used to hate that look, like, because it was very European, and like you'd see guys in Europe.
It still is.
Is it?
I just wanted to let you know.
Really?
In America,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of dudes do that.
I don't mind it. Although I did see a guy in the airport, and he had one jogger leg pulled up, and my wife looked at him, and she started to make a comment to me about it. I think to reference
You
this.
start pulling up here.
And I'm like, that's a cultural thing. Like in rap or Spanish things, like cholo, you like one leg up, one leg down, like that.
Why?
Like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. My friend is Mexican, and like he talks about that too. It's like, oh yeah, like got one leg up, one leg down under your pants. All right. Let's see. So then the other thing is just a sunset, because that's what you got to do when you're in Hawaii.
Oh,
all right,
cheesy.
let's go to the first slide, Lady Rock. What do we have here?
Only the best for my girl.
That's
and you're
right.
at a Costco?
That's right.
One of four on the Big Island.
We got to Oahu, and everybody says, if you're going out to that side of the island where we were, they're like, go to Costco. Food is so expensive there. Go to Costco
Like there's
and
still
stock
Costco
up.
prices? Oh, stock up.
Yeah, because you'll want to eat breakfast in your room. You'll want to do these things because food is so expensive. That's a travel tip, and they were not lying. Food is crazy expensive. Hawaiians must know where to go eat. That's not $35 for two people at Five Guys.
I don't think a lot of Hawaiian people go to Five Guys, though.
I don't know. It's kind of busy.
Okay.
And it wasn't just all tourists, but it's like maybe they were splurging. But there's a lot of food truck culture in Hawaii as well, in Hawaii as well. And I didn't want to do that because I went to one food truck. Okay. Didn't expect to get a rant this early.
What in the world?
Talking about
You're
food
on
trucks.
vacation.
So we go we're trying to get. Okay, well, let me tell the Costco story first. So first night there. I had done a post kidding around about only the best for my wife, first class, because when we got to the airport, it was so early. We got our very own shuttle bus. No one was on it. And I'm like, first class, lady. But then we're in coach the rest of the way. And then coming home, we got our very own shuttle bus again. And the guy was even going to Lot C, and we were the only ones there, and he changed it to Lot B for us and took us. Like,
what a darling.
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so nice. That's like, good job, airport guy. So we dined for $1.50 for mine, and then $2 for hers. So we're under $5 for our first meal in Hawaii.
Which is very good.
That is where it stopped. Like everything else was so stinking expensive.
Is it like as bad as Alaska is? Because in Alaska,
Yeah.
everything is crazy
It's a lot more
expensive.
scarce out there too.
Yeah.
Like I think that's their whole culture is that there's just so much less of out there.
So my wife and I decide like 3-4 days into this, we haven't had a hamburger, and like, okay, you know what? We both are hankering for a hamburger. So I look and I try to find a bunch of hamburger spots. One was Betty's Hamburgers.
Really?
Yeah, it was Betty's Hamburgers.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, they didn't have a T-shirt. Unfortunately, I would have bought you one. But like, so it's in this college town part of Hawaii where like University of Hawaii is. And then it takes forever to park there. And so we're going to go there. And then my wife, I'm like, she's not going to like this. So we went to Cane's. Like, I know she would hate it. Like, it's big, thick burger. She hates those. I'm like, she's like, just go there if you want to. I'm like, no, because you'll hate it and then you won't eat. So we're going to go to Cane's. I don't care what I want. I just want to do what you want.
Smart husband.
I know. That's what I do. And so I'm a giver. And so we didn't get a burger then. So I look all over the next day. And I find a place called Hawaiian Smash Burger. I'm like, yes,
Sounds great.
Let's go. I am all about this. It looked good on the grill. It was great. So we drive, and I'm following the Google Maps, and we pass a McDonald's, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. But then on the way to Smash Burger there, and we get there, and it's a stinking food truck. I'm like, oh, but there's no line.
Which is okay.
Well, no, because food trucks are notoriously slow. Food trucks next to the barbecue guy in Blue Ridge should be the fastest food and not the most expensive food you get. So we show up there. There's nobody there. I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm super excited. We walk up to the window. There's a sign that says, sorry, it could be up to 30 minutes for your hamburger.
And you're the only one in line?
The only one in line. So then the guy's like, hey, hang on a second. I stand there for 5 minutes, probably 3 to 5 minutes, waiting for him to open the window back. And I go, hey, your sign says 30 minutes, like for 2 hamburgers. Are you serious about that? And he's like, yeah, we're shorthanded, all the usual excuses.
Like Dunkin' Donuts.
Like making smash burgers. You can put 15 of them on your grill and smash them. And I'm like, you're serious? I go, is it really going to be that long? He's like, well, no, it probably won't be that long. So I'm hopeful. He goes, probably like 25 minutes.
Oh.
And I literally, I look at my wife and I'm like, do you want to wait? And she's like, I mean, it looks good. I'm like, it's a principle thing.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Did you really have a place to be that made you time restraint?
No, we did not.
So then
sat
you
there,
could wait.
talked about your life.
No,
Yeah, that's the point of vacation is to relax and
Reminisced.
Yeah.
no,
and
but it
just
made
lay
me
back.
mad. You should not have to wait 30 minutes for a
Watch
smash
TikTok.
burger.
Watch TikTok.
No, there's a principle. And so I'm like, no. And my wife even said when we walk back to the car, my wife goes, we're going to drive to a place. And it's
You're
going
gonna
to take
wait
us
just as
over
long.
30 minutes to find a place, get our food and everything like that.
Yeah.
Then if we just wait here. And I said, I understand that. And I said, I know you're going to bring this all back up again when we get there.
Rightfully so.
But I'm not doing this with this food truck. Absolutely not. I think this is lunacy with food trucks. And so we go, we find another place. That's when we hit the Betty's place. But then it just gets worse because there's no parking downtown. So I have to go park in a pay for parking lot. So then I've got to get the app and do all this stuff. And it turns out it's the same company that hosed me
Oh,
here in
good grief.
Nashville that I had to fight for 2 months.
No.
And so then it's $9 to park.
That's
Then
what you get.
I know. And then we got our food later, and then it was a whole thing. And she just looks at me. I go, don't say it. Don't say it because I know what you're going to say. Yeah, so food trucks, it's the same in Hawaii as it is in the continental United States. Still a ripoff. Okay, next slide, please, ma'am.
All
Okay.
that from Costco.
Hold on. Let me get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to the memorial for the USS Arizona in Pearl Harbor, and there's so much that you don't know. It was really good. Like, I was glad that I went. We walked around the
Museum.
it's a park there too. We didn't go to the
okay.
museum this time, but they have a park there before you get on the boat that goes out to the memorial, and it has the history of everything, and it shows you a bunch of stuff. It was fascinating, the parts of this that you learned, and the crazy thing was the ramifications of Chinese people or of Japanese people in the United States, like the camps we put them in because of fear. You know, we ran into this after 9/11. You know, like, okay, anyone that was Middle Eastern, we're like, and we freaked out. But like back in this day, we put Chinese Americans into internment camps, you know, and it was just such all these things you couldn't think that we did in response to this war. And what the Japanese went through to attack us was crazy. And like it was just, it's one of those things you just forget, and you forget of the heroism of the people that died to try to save other people. And so it was sombering. And when you get off the boat, they're like, this is a memorial. You know, there are over 900 people that this was their burial site in essence. And so they're like, please be quiet. You can take pictures. Don't have your sound on. You can take video and stuff, but just be respectful. And I really liked that so many people were respectful, you know. But if you see this little dot of color in the water, that's oil. That is still
remaining.
seeping out from the Arizona. There's over 5,000. No, what was it? It was some crazy number, like 50,000 gallons or something like that, or 5,000 gallons. It's a big number. Gallons of fuel still on the boat that leach out through it. And it's so funny in our day and age of we're worried about the environment. There's a sign that says, you know, it's still leaking, but we monitor it all the time. And if it's an environmental concern, then we'll deal with it, kind of thing.
Because
But
that doesn't
it just
look like a big leak. It's not like
But
you took
when
a
it
picture
does it-
of a...
like a dripping faucet,
Sure.
and it was
Oh.
all the time. You're like, I'm really surprised that environmentalists haven't been like, we have to go get this
Right.
Seems
fuel
like
out
you
of
could
there.
just take care of it, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting, but I was really glad that we went because I had been to the museum before, but I never went out to the boat. And if you don't buy the package, I'll be giving you travel tips on this too. If you don't, like, the hotel will sell you things, or just online will like, hey, for $100 you can go and tour this, and this. If you just want to go out to the Arizona and you book it through the national park, it's like $2.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like cheap. They send you out there on the boat. Now, the other things, if you want to go on the sub, or you want to go on the battleship, or you want to go into the big museum, each one of those is its own $20, $30, whatever it is.
It's pretty awesome to see, though.
Yeah, it is worth seeing. Like, if you haven't seen it before, it's 100% worth seeing. Okay, next slide. This is, you see a tiny waterfall in
Oh,
the
you're
back.
wearing that Disney hat that looks like the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I got
emblem.
that in Copenhagen at H&M years ago, and I liked it because it was just different. So this is my wife after she's calmed down. I thought it would be fun to
How was she
rent.
not calm?
Well, I figured it would be fun to rent electric bikes and ride to this waterfall. So I booked this excursion, and we get to the electric bike place that's on the beach. And then I didn't know when we rented the bikes that it was then a 4-mile bike ride through traffic and all the craziness of Honolulu
That seems...
to then ride up to the waterfall. And then from there, you have to hike a mile in.
No.
Yeah, and so we
No.
ride 4 miles. My wife is not the best bike rider, and then hates riding in traffic. I don't like riding in traffic either. Like, riding in traffic is not fun.
That's sketchy.
It can be disconcerting. She doesn't start well when you stop at a light, and then she's that kid that wobbles on the bike to get going. So she's wobbling on the bike. I'm like, honey, look,
Poor thing.
these bikes have a throttle on it. So when you stop, don't try to pedal because it's hard to start pedaling. Use the throttle to get you going. And once she did that, she started to enjoy it a little bit more, but she faced her fear, rode the 4 miles out. I was proud of her.
Good job, Marty.
We
Good
then
for her.
hike into the woods to see this waterfall.
Dadgum.
And it was
looks-
a hike that went way up
But
high.
is that the waterfall behind y'all?
That is the
That's it?
lame
It looks a
waterfall.
little trickly.
Yeah, I was picturing us going to a waterfall, splashing around, maybe even taking a dip. And, like, you can't even get close to the plunge pool, and it's just trickling.
It doesn't look like you could hear it.
So we get there, we hike, we're just dripping sweat, and then we leave, we hike back down the mile, then bike ride the 4 miles back to the guy that rented us the bikes
No.
through traffic again, and we get back to the bikes, and the guy's like, how was it? I'm like, wow, it was a long ride to get there. It's like, was the waterfall kind of dry? It's the dry season. I'm like, yeah. Like
Could have told me that.
That would have been I would have written down the beach if I had known that.
Do
Like,
you think it's their job to tell you that it's the dry season?
no, but it would have been a nice hint because
nice
that
little
waterfall
touch.
was not impressive at all.
That would be tough, especially if the journey was stressful.
Exactly.
Trish said that y'all are very athletic.
Oh, that's not true. I am more athletic than my wife for sure. Like I like to get out and do stuff, and we did some fun things. We'll get to in a minute. That was definitely the difference between our vacations. So I like doing that. The picture in the top right is my wife doing what she likes to do, lazy river.
Oh,
that's
yes.
awesome.
Girl after
That's
my
so
own heart.
good.
Yes.
I was
jealous.
impressed with her though because like she's not like really. We've never done vacation hot tubs before. And on this one, we were in the hot tubs twice. We did the lazy river multiple times. Like she usually like doesn't like being on the water and stuff, so she did that. The bottom picture below is at Pipeline, which is a huge surf thing. I grew up surfing, so I know about these things and I love it. And that's the Volcom House. So when you see Pipeline surfing, they cover it from the Volcom House. And so for us, we watch that, and she watches it with me and likes it. And so we always like to find places that we watch on something on TV when we travel. And so like when we went to New York for the first time, we went to all the Project Runway stuff. And
Lori, she just said that she's actually been there to
Oh, really?
this waterfall. She said it was a good hike, but would not want to be biking on either end of it.
no, we could have driven to the waterfall and then just hiked the 1 mile. But I didn't mind the biking. Like I told her, I said, once you get used to it, just don't think about the cars. Their job is to go around you. You just go straight. Don't wobble. Go straight.
That's their job, but what if they don't?
Yeah, if they're bad at their job, one of us is not coming home from Hawaii.
My word.
I'm faster than you.
Wow.
I got my profile up online. No, so, okay, let's go on. So now we're into my type of vacation. So you see us with helmets and goggles and masks over our face. There was this thing at Kaloa Ranch, I think, something like that. And you got to take ATVs out into the Hawaiian jungle, in essence.
That's cool.
And it was awesome. It was so dusty. Like you can see the picture on the right. Look at Marty. Her glasses are covered. Her hair looks like she's gray. It was all dust, man, but it was so much fun going through creeks and driving these things. I loved it. And she actually did too. She would have hated driving, but she liked riding with me. And so hats off to her. She did like something adventurous, which I love. But like the picture of that mountain is something that you like a view you got to see from these ATVs, which was awesome. But the reason there's a dinosaur there in the background of the big picture is because that's where they shot a bunch of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World.
What?
So all of these set pieces were still there, which is so cool.
That dinosaur behind y'all is
That's a real
part of the
dinosaur.
movie.
Yeah, it was so cool. And so, like, the girls who did the tour were great. So they're like, go in there and hide in there and then run out. And give me your phone and I'll shake the phone. And they were so much fun. And so I definitely tipped them well. And they were the ones that I asked the question about Mahu Mahu, the tattoo. I think we talked about that the other day.
Yes, Wally wants to get his next tattoo.
Yeah.
He wants to get Mahu Mahu, but we found out that Mahu means something completely different than what he wants it
In
to
Hawaiian.
mean. In Hawaiian.
And so I asked these girls, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's spelled differently, so you're good." And then I thought, "Are you lying to me?" But I tipped them, so maybe.
And I googled it; they are right.
Okay, good. So,
yeah, unfortunately.
So my tattoo is back on. All right, we'll go to the next one, Lady Rock. Oh yeah, this was again adventure
Oh my gosh.
vacations for me.
Look at that one on the far right where he's got the little helmet on. You look like a little space cadet.
do?
Yeah,
that?
it's like it looks from the
Please
side.
tell
It
me
looks
that's
like like that space. What is it, Marvin the Martian?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a wave pool that
Made
you
of
can
space.
surf in,
I'm
and
going to space camp.
they make you wear a helmet for the first 3 rides. After you ride for 3 times
smart.
and they see that you're not going to kill yourself, you can take the helmet off.
I see.
And so for that's me in my first 3 rides. But then the big picture is me surfing and enjoying it, throwing up the shaka. Let's go. You're in Hawaii. You got to do that.
grief.
And I got to surf this wave pool. And I absolutely loved it, man. It was so good. Like there wasn't a great place to go surfing for me on the island, you know, because Marty doesn't want to hang out at the beach. This was nice. There was umbrellas.
And then
she
it's
could-
nature dependent as well. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
simulated to be.
And it's a zoo, and you don't want to get in fights with locals because the
Oh,
Hawaiian
sure.
lineup is very, very particular, and you can like make people go mad easily. And so for me, this was great. I had to wait an extra hour because they had something broken, and I kept thinking I'm gonna have to cancel. And they're like, no, we're still working on it. But
30 minutes is too much.
I know.
For a smash burger.
For a burger.
I know.
That
But
your
1
wife
hour.
needs.
Yeah.
But you're like, nah.
This is way worth waiting for, and I'm so glad I
That's a great
did.
point, Gavin.
Because they and every time I was like getting ready to quit, I'd see the guy come up out of the water and be like, I just got to go get a different tool. I'm like, okay, you got it? He's like, I think we're going to get it. And then it was almost an hour and a half.
Were there other people waiting?
Yeah.
You could have gotten, they could have served you 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
At the burger place.
Yeah. But not this kind of a great experience. And so finally, they get it fixed, and I'm with, they say up to 10 people. I was with only 3 people.
Okay.
And so they were boogie boarding.
Rotational.
Yeah. And so and what I like about how they do it is when you jump in, and if you get thrown over the wave, your turn is over, the next person goes. When you're doing it
Incentive to do it well.
Yeah, when you're doing it like on a flow rider, on a cruise or something, they let you stay out there multiple times, and they keep bringing your board back. It takes forever to get through it. And so this one, these big Hawaiian dudes would jump in, and the wave would just shoot them right out the back. And so it was like I was waiting no time, and I was back in. My legs are on fire. I'm like, I'm getting worked, because the only way to get off of this thing is to wipe out. So like I'm getting worked every time. That's what you see is the underwater in the bottom corner is me getting churned upside down in the water, and that's the floor that I'm hitting.
Is the floor at least soft when you hit it?
Ish, yeah. It's like a plastic.
Yeah. It's not like a gravel or like a
cement
or anything.
Okay.
And so you're hitting that, but then one of my fingers got caught in
cover.
between the some of those slats. And so I thought I was gonna lose my finger because it was broken, and my finger went in like this. And so I got worked a couple times. It's funny because it's only 2 feet 7 inches of water, okay? But it's spinning you in a circle, and you really aren't under it there for that long. But if you hit and you lose your air, you're like, I can't get up, I can't. So a couple times I went over the falls. I quickly grab air, and like I got spun like in this vortex, like spinning, and then I finally would pop up.
It's like one of those things that you just shouldn't totally do if you're not somewhat comfortable, athletic, and or brave.
But it was it was so much fun. But then I booked 2 sessions back to back because I didn't think I'd get to ride a lot. So I had booked another session. So we get to go. No one is booked for that other session. It's just me. So I go, fall for another half hour straight. To the end, I'm dying. Like I'm sore. I'm tired.
Well, then why don't you just stop?
Because I paid for it, and I'm going to get every bit out of it.
Like vacation, the more you talk about it.
I wanted to stop, but I kept going, and then finally I went one time, and I knew I was getting close to my time, and I'm like, I'm gonna do one more, and I gotta call it. And then I fell, and I came back out, and they're like, okay, your time's done. I'm like, God bless you.
Oh my gosh.
I said I got one more in me. That's all I had.
You probably had 45 minutes left, and they're like, let's get this guy.
He's gonna die. My back is swollen because I hit really hard one time. I still have a swollen spot that's sore on my back. I got worked, but it was glorious. Look how happy I look.
Yeah.
Like that's vacation to me.
Even with your little space cadet helmet on.
Yeah, I was even happy with that.
I'm a space cadet, Mom.
I was so glad to take that off, though. That was like going right.
Let's say had they told you, no, sir, we don't feel comfortable with you taking off that helmet.
Yeah.
Would you have taken that as an insult?
Yes, absolutely.
So you were earning the right to take that helmet off.
I got in on the surfboard. Okay. Flow rider, like on cruise ships, is to me is harder than this. This has skegs and you can surf it. Like I got in and they were all like, "Oh, you're good." Like I did it the very first time. And
how's the tour?
I took to it. Yeah, I took to it. But again, like the next slide, if you see the next slide, these are how you get off of your board.
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
You're like standing.
Well, no, I went over the falls, but that was when I went over the falls as I was going backwards, and I saluted the camera as I went.
Photoshop.
Oh my
It was like that guy in the Olympics.
Yeah,
it was like,
that guy was awesome.
Yeah, and so
less cool, but
I did one like that. But yeah, so I spent so many times you get thrown and just jetted over the back.
That looks painful. I've done it with the boogie board at a hotel one time.
Yeah.
And like the water is just a force.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Okay, so go to the next one. We talked about this on the Aftercast the other day. This is the neck of the $2,500 Kamaka ukulele. This is the ukulele my wife wanted me to purchase. Multiple times said it. You can get it. She wanted it because she wanted those Mickeys in our house. I guarantee you that. And she's like, you could pass it down to Haley. You love it. I know, $2,500.
No.
It's beautiful. Without a doubt, beautiful. So the other day, just to mess with her, like we came home. We've been home for a week. And I'm opening the fridge, and I go, you know what? I really should have got that ukulele. She's like, no! I'm like, I'm kidding. I did not. But the Kamaka people, who were so nice, the family, I had asked to buy like a piece of wood so I could make a pen. And the guy goes, okay, if you'll make us 5 pens, I'll hook you up with a bunch of wood. And he did. It was so great. And so I made the 5 pins already. Like, I've got them all done. And I've got to make a bow tie because I told Katie Kamaka that I would make her a bow tie out of wood.
What does that mean? A bow tie out of wood?
Yeah, I made one for me once.
He wore one at our Christmas party.
Yeah, it's a bow tie made of wood. And like people are always
spins around like a little clown.
No. Everyone's like, that is so cool. And so I told her I would make one. And so I've got to do that this weekend. But I wanted to make good on what I promised them since they hooked me up.
And they were like, sir,
do it in a timely manner.
Maybe they'll finance your next vacation.
No, I came back.
Hawaii.
I came back with a mission. I'm like, I have to get this done. And so I came back from vacation and started working on this stuff instantly. But anyway, that was the ukulele, which I think is beautiful. And now I'm starting to regret not getting it.
Nuh-uh.
We went to a secret beach, and I got to see Seal performing live.
Wait, am I supposed to?
Go ahead and go forward. Yeah. And so.
Is that you?
It felt like it. That was me before I lost weight. So yeah, we had heard from these travel people, if you're staying at Alani, go out to where the beach is and go right and go down to Secret Beach. And so we pass this other resort and we go down to this thing and there are all these signs about private property. And so Marty stops and will not go on this beach. I'm like, Pants, I think that is for the property above this. I don't think that has to do with the beach because you can't own the beach like in Hawaii or in most places, you know? And I'm like...
But she's a rule follower,
she is.
Whereas you are a rule breaker.
I am that doesn't apply to me person. And so I'm like, there's a seal over there. I'm getting close to this seal. And so I walked down, and I did keep my distance a little bit. I wanted to get close to him, but I'm also not stupid. Like, seals can be aggressive, and I kind of sized him up and realized how slow he looked on land. I figured on land.
Did the same thing?
Yes. That's very true. So I'm sizing him up, and then I figured, okay, I got a place where I can run if I have to, because I'm down on the sand where it's not as squishy. I figured that would give me a little head start. But he was actually, like, it's hard to tell how big he was. This thing was huge.
Was he stinky?
No, he was adorable.
You don't get close enough to, well, those two things can be separate.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
But when I went to Alaska, we came across some seals, and I mean, they were just so stinky.
Yeah.
It's like
They're
that dock in
cute.
California.
Like a little baby seal. Precious.
Oh, adorbs.
Did it make any noises?
It did. He's like, yeah, just like that.
So you walked past it,
I
right?
did. I got fairly close to it, you know, and I shot a video of it. Again, we had posted all this stuff on our stories. That's the one sad thing. Like, I do a lot of the stories, but I hate that they just go away.
Well, we can bring them back.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a way to do it.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Create memories. That's like a thing.
Oh, okay.
Seems complicated,
because there was
though.
some fun surfing stuff. I did a really cool 360 video of the surfing.
That was fun.
And so you can see a real good thing of it. And then I did a 360, and then I did a video of me falling all the times.
Oh, love
and
it.
so if you want to bring those back, that would be
Sure.
fine. They're good. And then there's the seal video and stuff. I shot a lot of this stuff. This is your stereotypical Hawaiian
pretty cool, though.
beach shot.
Beautiful.
And this was at a beach
Aloha.
that was so sketch. Believe it or not. Like,
What
this
do you
is what
mean?
you see. So I was going to go swim with the turtles and snorkel with the turtles. So the night before, I wanted to go find the beach.
You wanted to give each of the turtles a straw.
Yes, I brought plastic straws to shove up their noses. Yeah, if Just Stop Oil can do their protests, I'll do mine. So I find this beach because it wasn't real clear as to where it was. So I find this beach, and because my wife was like, okay, I want to go see the beach and see if it's nice, like, for me, and I'll sit there and wait for you, because she doesn't like being out on the beach. And so we go find this beach, and it's at night, and there's people with tents, and it looks like people just hanging out. And like at night, it got like super sketch. And so I'm like, okay, you don't need to go tomorrow. Yeah. Like I'll just go by myself. But it's amazing. Like when you shoot this picture, it's beautiful. But just outside of this are like beer cans and like tents and people that like I think are living there.
It's kind of like what you said about how zoom out type thing.
Yes.
Which you can even see in the far right corner, the word crop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had to crop it. Yeah. I took it from one of the video aspects. I don't know if it wasn't time lapse. It might have been cinematic or whatever. But yeah, I cropped a still out of it and it showed crop in there. But yeah, so very beautiful setting. But yeah, that was that. So anyway, great vacation. Got some
Is that it?
time. That was it. That was the final one. I didn't do a billion of them. But yeah, if you want to bring back a couple of those stories, since we've talked about it, somebody might want to go see them. They were kind of fun. So.
Well, great.
There you go.
I love
That's
it.
Super cool.
Well, we do have a question, and this one is from Nunya Business.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Do we have any Wally stories where he was a first responder?
I did not have any first responder needs this time. I was a little
It's
sad.
a good day. That's a good day if you're not needed.
Not if you're a hero. You're sad about that.
There goes
Thank you.
my hero.
Yeah, no, there was nothing.
Watch him as he goes.
Nothing that needed my attention this time. So yeah, I mean, on the surface, that's good for other people, but a little sad for me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
The
thing.
helper in you.
It is. I am a helper. I think I'm a broken too. I really do. Like today, for Betty today,
which is an Enneagram.
I saw her, getting her cart ready to go. She brings her cart in from the office into the studio, and I saw her getting ready to get her cart, and I knew there was a chair in her way, and I instantly just slid the chair out of the way, subtly, hero style.
And we're talking about Enneagrams, if you don't know what we're talking about. But we think that Wally is a broken 2 or an ADHD 2.
Yeah. Because 2s go to 8, and everybody hates 8s for some reason, but 8s are great. 8s get things done, but 2s in unhealth go to 8, and they manifest the behaviors
and
of
you
an
can
8.
see the one side of you, the perfectionist, definitely as well.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to editing.
Yeah, and I think that there's another part of that too. It goes with my amateur first responder because 2s, they want to help, but their sin that's associated with it is pride. And that definitely is a thing for me.
Interesting.
And it's pride in that you take
Brand new
pride. Yeah,
information.
and it's also too. 2s are kind of martyrs. 2s are martyrs because they want to help people, but then they get exhausted by helping people, but they want people to know that they're helping people. My daughter's a 2. And I like see a lot of the same traits in me and her. So it makes sense that we're either both 2s and broken, or 8s and 8s and 8. And 8 goes to 2 in health. And so that would make sense as well if I was a healthy 8, which debatable.
Very debatable. We have a question from Chandler. He said, how was the Disney resort? Was it worth it? And would you go again?
Food was ridiculously expensive. I didn't think food was great. Like, we've spent our time eating more places off of the resort to save money. The room that we had was 16th floor, overlooking stuff, phenomenal, and the pools were great, service was great, people were great, like all of it was great, 100%. But like if I was going to that place, like my wife figured it out, and she goes, okay, our hotel room for these 6 nights we were there, 5 nights we were there, was going to be about $6,000. Yeah, $600 or $6,500.
And there she was wanting to spend $2,000 more on a ukulele.
Girl math, because we didn't pay that because we have the Disney Vacation Club. So all we did was use our points. So we got the hotel room for our points that we have for every year. It's basically a timeshare, And so we already bought all of our points, and so now vacations feel free. And I know they're not.
Girl math.
I know, exactly. I'm girl mathing this. But from that standpoint, 100% worth it, because I would never in a million years spend that much money. I hate paying over $100 for hotel rooms. Hate it. Like, so when we're going places like at Disney and we're using our vacation club, and my wife will look it up and go, oh yeah, this room's $700 a night. Who does that?
That's insane.
Yeah, who does that?
You do.
No. Well, yes, indirectly.
No. Well, yes.
Indirectly, yes.
Don't you dare let me
but
in
I don't.
with those people.
This is why the guy that sold us the DVC was a genius, because he goes, look, I know it's expensive. I understand that. But what you're doing is you're prepaying for all of your vacations right now.
Like on the cheap. You're getting a deal on every vacation that you will now go on.
And I see it
and
now.
like a moth to a flame.
Well, I did get my wife. I know.
I feel like it's similar to whenever my wife does go to Target, comes back, has spent money. She's like, but you never know how much I saved today.
My wife, she had always dreamed of this. And so I on a whim, and I surprised her with it, and she was like, I can't believe we're doing this.
What?
That's great.
Hawaii?
The DVC. Getting DVC a few years ago. And so, she loves it. And so it's worth every penny. But the guy who sold it to me was right, because he's like, if you're going to pay the going prices, you will not go. You know, from what you've told me, he's like, you're not going to go. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. And so, because I didn't want to be like, oh, all our vacations are going to be at Disney. I don't want to do that. That's ludicrous.
Marty's like,
all our vacations are at Disney. No, it'll be interesting to see what happens with my daughter if she moves from there, how much we go, you know. But the good thing is you can use it in other countries and stuff too. But we haven't done that yet, but I would.
Trish has a
Let's go,
great
Trish.
question.
Love it.
Trish said, did you bring hypothetical Hayden to Hawaii with you?
No, I wouldn't
Great question, Trish.
I wouldn't even let hypothetical Hayden watch my cat while we were gone. Okay? So, yes, he did not get to go. Haley was there in spirit.
Listen, hypothetical Hayden would flourish in a place like Hawaii because that's where all the
shells.
hermit crabs are.
That's right.
And you imagine all the crabs he could help
Yeah.
there.
And
locally.
that's why we didn't bring him.
Oh my
That's why we didn't bring him. We went to this place called Turtle Beach where there was supposed to be a bunch of turtles, and all I saw was a dead crab. So I picked it up.
Dead crab beach.
Yeah.
I hope you washed your hands.
Yeah, it was in the ocean. It was salty. Yeah. Oh, it's true, and I did go eat after that.
Okay. Olivia, she said, Wally, what's the best Disney vacation experience you've had?
I am probably the Hawaii one. Well, no, every Disney cruise I've taken, fantastic. Like, if you got to go on a cruise line, even as an adult, even if you don't have kids, Disney is by far and away, I think, the best cruise line. The shows are great, food's great, staff is great, and the ironic thing about it is, it doesn't feel like there are a million kids and they're not crying, and it doesn't feel horrible. Like, it's really weird. Now, getting your picture taken with Mickey with your 56-year-old wife is weird as all get out. Like, when she gets excited, I'm not making this up. We were at dinner one night, and Mickey walks in, and she goes, oh, he's here. And I'm like, who? She's like, Mickey's here, and he's got a chef costume on. I'm like, am I dining with an 8-year-old? But then, like,
the answer is yes.
I know. But then again, like, I love that she's so happy. Like, for her, that's her happy place. Like me being on that fake surf or on that surfboard on that fake wave, my happy place, you know? And like for her, that's what makes her happy.
Just a stranger dressed in a costume.
Yeah.
That makes her happy.
Makes her happy. And I'm like,
you know
what?
The guy in the costume, though, is like, why is another 56-year-old
I know,
crazy
yeah.
lady?
Yeah, there was the Stitch guy, like at Hawaii. The Stitch character was so great. Like he was really animated. And I'm like, and my wife's like, do you want to get in the photo? I'm like, I'd love to. And so, like, I'm just don't want to be in the photos. And the Stitch character's doing all these actions to, like, win me over. And I'm like, grr, okay, let's get in there. And then I try to leave, and then it's hugging me. I'm like, for the love, I just want to get out of this photo.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, I want to take the least amount of time here.
That's too funny.
I had one kid, we were getting our picture with Mickey, and we had waited for half an hour in line to be the first in line, because that's my wife. And so we get there, and then we're doing burgers. Then some other kid just randomly walks up and like is like entranced by Mickey.
Cut her in line?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, and Marty was like,
I thought Marty was going to stiff arm the kid, but the lady who was working the line was like, no, we got to wait in line. And she was so kind, lady that was working there. And I looked at her, I'm like, it's all right. Like, I'm not going to.
Yeah, like
it's a kid.
Us and our almost senior citizens, like, we'll wait.
I'm like, it's not a big
deal. Just about 5 minutes for this kid.
And so she kind of was like, okay, fine, and lets him go. But then the kid won't leave. And she finally is like, okay, where's your mom? Where's your mom? And she kind of steers the kid physically away.
Did?
No, the girl that worked there.
Oh.
She goes, where's your mom? And she's like, okay, parents, thanks for watching your kids.
Love it. Katie has a question for Gavin. She said, what's on Gavin's hat? It doesn't look like a mule, but hard to see what it is.
From here, see if it's in that. It would be it's a goat, and it's got tiger stripes on it because Tiger Woods, and it's a golf hat, so it's Tiger Woods is a goat golf hat.
Not a bad golf hat. It took me a minute too. I didn't get it. I thought it was for the Bengals for some reason because I know you love football too.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, well, are the Bengals the goat? I don't get it, but the golf thing makes sense now. I like it.
One more question.
All right,
this one
is
from Lillian. Why did you pick Honolulu as opposed to the other islands?
Because that's where the vacation club was. Yeah, I mean, that was 100%.
The other islands are great, but...
Yeah, we've been to another island. We went once years and years and years ago. What, man, 23 years ago, I guess, 22 years ago, we went to Kauai, and it was nice.
That was our favorite when we went last year.
Yeah. I know, yeah, you got to do a cruise and stuff. You like the cruise, right?
Oh, yeah. If I'm recommending a way to enjoy Hawaii, which is all under the umbrella of your financial situation,
sure,
but like the Norwegian cruise out there, 7 days hopping between islands, super cool.
Yeah, so yeah, we just went because the thing about like Oahu, which is where that is, like downtown Honolulu, downtown Waikiki, it's a city. It's a big city.
It really is.
It's congested. There's a grip of homeless people in Hawaii too, which, I mean, honestly, if I'm going to be homeless, I'd rather be homeless there than Michigan. At least I'm not going to freeze in the winter,
Yeah, you're right.
But like it's different. Like it doesn't feel that different. And then like where we were was not the pretty side of the island, ironically. The resort is beautiful. But the North Shore is lush and more tropical, and it's beautiful. Like you could just sit there and eat dinner somewhere and just look at the ocean. It was nice. So it was worth.
It's a
going
cool
to.
place.
Yeah, I think it's worth going to. I understand. It's hard to get there sometimes. It was 10 hours of flying.
It's hard to get there. It's expensive to be there. It's expensive to eat there.
Yeah, that's why you don't do it all the time.
No,
but it is worth the splurge, I think, if you like that kind of stuff.
And the people there are pretty nice too.
Oh, the people were great.
They're it's a very much an industry driven state, but they are genuinely kind people.
The aloha spirit, pretty great,
super real. It's like Southern charm. It's very real.
Even when you're driving, people give people space. No one honked. No one honked. I was the only person that honked, and it's because a guy almost hit me. He didn't see me, and he almost pulled into my lane, and I had to honk. But other than that, everyone just vibes together. I know. It's like, but he literally almost hit my rental car, which I did not take the insurance out on. So I'm like, do not damage my car.
And on that note,
seems like a good way to.
All right, there you go. That's going to do it for your Slippidy Slideshow and your Aftercast for the week, and we will see you on Monday.